You had mentioned a media lab.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the Walt Disney Company has a media and advertising lab in Austin, Texas. It is, I believe we're now in the fourth year of its existence. And ABC, ESPN, ABC Family, Disney all use the lab to gain insights into what we're providing to our advertisers. Or in other instances, how we're advertising ourselves. We actually do a lot of research for our marketing group on how we're promoting our own programming or our own offerings across platform. And it's enabled us to be very systematic. It has academic rigor. We are staffed with a host of people who are expert in the field of media research. Our chief research officer, Dwayne Varon, is from Murdoch University in Perth, Australia, very well known throughout the industry as an expert in media research. Dr. Amy Rask runs the lab in Austin. And again, these are people who are very rigorous about research design, statistical analysis. This is done just the way we would do academic research. And the answers that we get, we're able to isolate variables around the messaging. We're able to isolate an in-program brand integration, let's say, isolate that from the effects of an adjacent 30-second spot, and explain to our advertiser partners what part of the result came from the in-program exposure, what part came from the 30-second spot, what came from the combination of the two, and what kind of lift did we get by combining in-program and in-break advertising. And we're able to do those kind of things in a very, as I said, very systematic way, a very rigorous statistical way, and we're very confident of the results that come out of there because of the degree of control that we have and the degree of rigor that we're using.
Can you share some of that methodology?
Yeah, the other thing that is really key to how we use the lab is that we triangulate to our answers. We have biometric measures, we use skin conductance and heart rate measures, eye tracking measures, along with traditional survey methods. And what we're able to do is between the eye tracking, the heart rate, the skin conductance, the survey results, if all of those are in correspondence, then we know we really have a strong answer. If we find that we have higher ad recall in one condition than another, and then we see that people are actually, through the eye tracking measures, they're tracking the logos of our brands more closely, and we see that the skin conductance suggests that there's a degree of physiological arousal there. All of that we can put together to understand that this was truly a strong and significant result. Again, we've done some research where we see when those results don't necessarily sync up. Justin Fromm and Amy Rask had done a paper at the ARF a couple of years ago where they showed a couple of results where all of the measures corresponded. Sometimes, however, there are instances where you get survey results that aren't borne out by what we see in the eye tracking or in the arousal measures. And people will say they liked something, and then we'll find out that their interest levels really weren't as great as we had thought. We also do facial coding, so we see the amount of smiling that people are doing. So if they said something was funny or said they liked it, but then we don't see that degree of smiling that we see on other programs, then we have an idea that maybe the survey results were a little bit overstated. The thing that works well for us, though, is in the majority of cases, the measures all do triangulate. They all are typically in correspondence, so we know we have a strong result. It's just a few outliers here and there where they don't all sync up. And again, Justin and Amy showed one of those examples so that people could see methodologically, how we put our results together using multiple measures.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that biometrics tend to trump questionnaires.
I would say that I'm not sure if I'd use the word trump, but what we do find is that survey results are rational measures. And sometimes people, they will respond rationally because if you ask them a question, they will give you a rational answer. And sometimes the rational answer doesn't really correspond with what their bodies told you in the experiment. So I think sometimes the biometrics help to clarify. We try to put it all in context, but we do find sometimes that particularly any kind of rational measures, and I would put handheld dials, which people typically use for content testing. I'd put that in the rational as well, because people are thinking about how far do I turn the dial, and what we'll find often is that facial expression actually gives us more extremes or more variation than the dial gives. So in that sense, I think the biometrics amplify our results and clarify our results. And if they are in opposition, maybe under those circumstances, we might say that the biometrics would trump a survey result if they're completely in opposition. But typically what we do see is it's an amplification and a clarification.